So there was just a massive amount of how do I word this tactfully? Young people having a party across the street in the same location for like an hour, and it progressively got louder and louder and louder and more belligerent and more uses of profanity and, the N word and all sorts of absurdity. I mean, there were cars everywhere. Then finally, one little police car shows up, and they're like, "You guys gotta be quiet," on a loudspeaker. Like, seriously. And they've all dissipated, or it seems like they have, and everything's quieted down. And throughout the entire process, I was laying here thinking and just attempting to comprehend, like, what kind of a mindset you would have to do something like this at like 1:30 in the morning, and then to start it at 1:30 in the morning, and to know that the area you're in has a lot of elderly people in it, like young kids, and especially young children. There's so many young children in that like apartment complex plaza across the street. God, this pillow is uncomfortable. Anyway, and they, whatever, right? They're having their own fun and their drug use and blah, blah, blah. And I was thinking to myself, wow, I used to be a part of that. Like, not even 10 years ago. Like, I've done way worse, right? And I kept thinking to myself, like, okay, thinking about what if, honestly, I was trying to distract myself by thinking about a lot of various things, and the thought about God and Gnosticism and the originator popped into my mind. And I thought to myself, like, what if something happens in that situation to get for somebody to get hurt, or if they start doing belligerent things and getting drunk and, dangerous situations occur? Who would attribute anyone's safety to God when the people doing that believe in God to begin with? Like the bad guys and the good guys. And it made no sense to me because it's part of duality. So I thought to myself, okay, so let me feel my way through this as neutral as I can to try to comprehend all of creation. Because if this is happening here, that means somewhere internally within the body of the greater aspect of me, this is occurring in my consciousness, right? So in a part of my body, there are a multitude of cells, bacteria, and function and energy consolidated, and they were all having a fantastic time. And I thought to myself, okay, so now let's say I'm source and I'm all that is, was, and ever will be. And I wouldn't feel anything about that situation. I would be completely neutral. I wouldn't be capable of feeling something like that. And then my thought pattern somehow went to light, because I was listening to a song by India Ari called "I Am Light," and that thought led to how people say that this is a universe where it's made out of light. And I remembered that it's only one universe. The word universe means one note or one song. So this universe is the song of light. Hence why people say, the whole child of light thing. So this whole thought pattern and this domino experience of the way my mind works, And I realized Source really has no consciousness in the way that we think of consciousness. So the demiurge, God, Yahweh, all these different beings or whatever they are, can't be Source. They can't be God, but they are also Source and God. Again, duality. How and why, right? Well, let's break it down into the most simplest way. The universe is one aspect of all of everything, known as Source. Source, even if it attempted to make a spirit version of itself, like how they say God made the Holy Spirit, or the Holy Spirit is an emanation of God. So let's say if Source made its own culmination of a version of itself that was, an avatar or a logos, a soul, a spirit of itself. Like when you astral project from your physical body, you're in your astral body. So Source has a quote unquote body, right? But what if it doesn't and it's all of everything, and then we are that body? The universes are that body, and we are, each of us are a universe. So Source, in order to know itself, to know what it is, to actually gain awareness and consciousness instead of be completely neutral, and considering that if it's omnipotent and omniscient and everything else and infinite, that means it already knows itself, right? So it doesn't have a reason to know itself. It already knows everything. Why would it know itself? Or why would it want to know itself when it already knows itself? So we're here as beings of light, attempting to know ourselves? That can't be right. Because Source, infinite, omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent, and everything else means it already knows itself, and that there is no free will, because it's already decided and played through everything, which means it's just a matter of choice, which can't be accurate either. So I've been thinking about all of this and attempting to channel in some kind of wisdom for it, and then I realized we really are light. We are Source. Every living being is its own universe, and it is Source itself, incarnated into flesh. The word incarnate means to be in flesh. What is it that is in flesh? The light, Source. And Source is only light in this universe. In another universe, the entire fabric of that universe could be made out of something we can't comprehend, because everything in this universe we're in now is made out of light. Everything, every aspect of everything has to do with light. From gravity to light to air to whatever, it's all light. So what's the point of existence? If it already knows everything, why is anything even in existence? Why? And I've been thinking about this the entire time that they were doing this, having come to the realization that we are all Source, and accepting it finally and fully, and that realizing that the demiurge, God, and all these other beings, mythological and otherwise, they are aspects of Source that have evolved to that point. Okay, so they can technically claim to be God, but they're not Source. They're a fractal of Source. Which means you and I and your cat and the bird and the trees and everything in existence is just as much God as any other God. Your story is just as much legend as any other story. You matter just as much as any angel and God and any being ever, if not more, because you are now the next stage. So, is there free will? I don't think so. I think only the beings that have evolved to a point where they can comprehend this have free will. Prior to that, I think Source and its various aspects that work in various godly forms and various structures and fundamental basics of the universe, like physics and the laws of existence. People are bound by those rules. So, like, while you're on Earth, you're, you know, the moon affects you. The moon affects water. The sun affects growth and day and night cycles. But once you actually evolve past that, kind of like how they say that the Father is the sun, like the solar object. Well, the stars also have consciousness, so they were something before they reached that point. And they were subject to their own astrological placements. And once you evolve past it and you become cosmic level awareness, and you activate your celestial body and your, the star chakras and all the other ones, you're not bound by the human body anymore. Human rules don't apply to you because you then become an ascended being. Just like Jesus Christ, if he or she walked the earth right now, would be completely immune to any laws of society, any laws of the physical world, any laws of the astral, etheric, emotional, mental, psychic, causal, all of them would be completely immune. This entire reality would bend to his or her will completely. And then to take it a step further, if like the Holy Spirit incarnated into, and I use the word Holy Spirit in a multi-religious and non-religious way, the first emanation of Source as a being other than complete everything. The first time Source basically split itself like a cell. If it incarnated into flesh or anywhere, no rules anywhere would apply to it at all. Every universe would bend to its will. Every single one. Until something else comes up to match the same level of consciousness, and then there would be two. So why does Source want to know itself? It doesn't. It doesn't at all. It wants to make more of itself because it probably realizes that it's by itself and doesn't want to be by itself anymore. So it broke itself into an infinite amount of pieces so that each and every piece can evolve and grow in a completely unique and individual way, so that the entire fabric of existence is full of all unique and individual perfection everywhere, and all of them perfectly flawed in their own way. It's so beautiful, actually. So when you're thinking about God or like religions and rules, it's okay. Just be aware that that's where your consciousness is. And once you evolve past it, you're going to look back at God as a member of your team. Like the Demiurge is just another member of the X-Men. The X-Men are, just another group of all the other mutants and Aeons and everything else. You can even look at the Aeons as members of the X-Men team. Like Jean Grey would be Sophia. Felitae would be Cyclops, like Anoia would be Lilandra or something, and Noose would be Xavier, like, whatever. Demiurge would be like Jean Grey and Cyclops' son that decided, or daughter that decided to have way too much power and went a little batty controlling your universe, kind of like Jean when she went Dark Phoenix and destroyed a galaxy. Oops, my bad. So yeah, I completely comprehend reality right now, and it's fascinating. I mentioned in the other video that I had an experience with the demiurge a few months ago now that I hadn't really talked about. And maybe I'll talk about it someday. It wasn't traumatic, but to be shown everything that I saw, I've spent a few months questioning everything. And I finally get it, because today again, I didn't pray to God. I didn't act like God was above me or beneath me. I called out as an equal, and I asked for an explanation. Not just from God, from Source, from my guides, from my own source self. I asked for answers and I got them. Everyone comprehends reality at their own level, and we're all learning to create our own universes. The human body is a seed, and if we can learn to communicate with the bacteria in our bodies and to be the God to our own bodies, to be our own creation, and to be the creator of our own creation, then we can move forward to being a creator of our neighborhoods, of our cities, of our planets, of our solar systems, of everything. Kind of like Sophia and how they say she is the planet. Well, that was her level of consciousness and awareness as she became a planet to spawn all these other little baby planets on her. So she, as an aspect of God, of Source, became this to create more Source versions, more babies, more fractals. And now all these babies and fractals are evolving to go back to where Sophia came from and to take her with them. Kind of like the fountain where the guy is in this orb and he has the piece of the tree of life with him, and he's taking it with him through the pleroma back to the higher realms. It's a beautiful movie, by the way. You should watch it. I used some of the gifs in the Divine Masculine video. And mind you, I've been listening to my subliminals on loop all week, and I've been having these insane insights. So, mini update, they work. Like, holy jeez, they work. I'm surprised. I didn't think they would work this well. But man, when I channeled those subliminals through, like, I made an intent and I asked all of creation, like, you want this? You want me to help creation itself? You want me to do something for you, Source? Then you're going to work through me to do this. Because I intended, really, and I guess it's the best word, for the best possible outcome with everything. For my human mind to be out of the way and for the Source mind to do all of it. I was reading over some of the affirmations and I have no idea how I even came up with any of that. And like at all, they're so completely multifaceted. Every line has like 30 different variations, but it's only like 7 words. But those 7 words, like your mind will process them into 30, 40, 50 different messages. It's fascinating, actually. like, not to toot my own horn because I didn't physically do it, it was channeled through me. I'm just impressed at the level of flow that people can reach. And it's not just me, like, there are other people who can do this. They call it the flow state. It's fascinating what the human mind can do once it's connected with the heart and the earth and then the environment around you. It's like a free-flowing energy. Anyway, I'm gonna go and I think I'm at 199 videos right now, which is insane considering I have less than 100 subscribers at the time of this recording. And I have 200 videos almost. It's bananas. I intend to have 1,000,000 billion gajillion subscribers, and for each and every subscriber to have their best life ever and have gained so much insight, wisdom, and self-authenticating behaviors and patterns, and 1,000,000 bajillion dollars for everybody. And everybody's best life and marriages and whatever happiest experiences in life. Best possible outcomes. I'm gonna go. I'm getting a little ridiculous right now. Alright. Oh, last thing. Please don't be hard on yourself for where you are in life and what you're experiencing. You're experiencing what you need to be experiencing to grow. And it's okay. Whether you're afraid or whether you're happy or in love or sad, it's fine. Just be there for yourself. Allow those emotions to flow through you, and then be your own best friend. Everything I've been through, and I've been through everything, really. I've checked off every box that I could have in this life and every other life. Most of you have as well. You're just not consciously aware of it because it would be too much for you to be aware of. It's always been not easier, but it's always been easier to comprehend and then to let go of the pain. When I allow myself to maintain the emotional vibration of being the midwife for my body. I hope that makes sense. You're not a prisoner of your body. You're the god to your body. So when you feel a certain thing, don't run from it. Be there for it. And remember, everything is energy, and energy is emotion as well. Emotions are actually energy in motion, hence emotion. So when you're anxiety-ridden or panic-ridden or grief-stricken or whatever, don't run from it. Sit with it, lean into it, as if you're standing in the forest and the wind blows. You're not going to run from the wind. You're going to, spread your arms and pretend you're flying. Find your power and your capacity to feel, and then let it go. And if something is important to you, or someone is important to you, remember everything. Don't dwell on the past, but remember everything fondly. The more time goes by, the less we remember of certain things, and it's a heartbreak. So if you have beautiful memories with somebody, write them down. Write them down right now. You know, ground those moments into your life. Write down how it meant, take pictures, get mementos that remind you of those experiences. Appreciate how much you loved someone and how much they loved you. All right. Bye.